Okay, I think we are live. So today we're going to be looking at some more cost of living crisis stuff. Bear with me just a moment while I get chat open. Boom. Perfect. Okay, let's get it started. So, cost of living crisis. Let's see where we're at. Been a few days. This one was 19 hours ago. So
fought for it, you voted for it, and now it has arrived. Change begins now.
Do you think the Labour Finance Department wake up in shock that the economy isn't growing as promised? When will anyone in that party realise that high tax, higher council tax, higher national insurance, higher tax doesn't grow an economy?
Council tax is up, food prices are up, energy bills are up, car tax is now going up, water bills have gone up, just to name a few. I mean, imagine bragging about that. Oh, it's £3 a rice to give over.
UK economy is on its knees, and I know it sounds cliche, but the UK is going to pieces. There is now literally no reason why anyone who has a thriving economic business would locate to the UK and create jobs in this country.
I don't think people grasp just how bad the British economy is. The average person in the UK was more economically active nearly 20 years ago than they are today.
England as a whole, I think, is like poorer than some of America's poorest states. You take London out of the equation, it is like straight up third world conditions.
I really want to try and help.
Right. Hassan Piker can actually fuck right off. Third world conditions, yeah. Let's really think about this. So third world conditions. So I'm outside of London. I live in a very rural area of the UK. Right, would I say this is third world? Far from it. I've got a flat, my own flat, 1 bedroom. There's 1, 2, 5 more on this block, and then another 6 over that side. Yeah, third world country, you know, you've got nothing. Like, yeah, finances are tight in our country right now, but it's not, oh, fucking hell. It's not third world fucking worthy, you know what I mean? It's not like we're struggling to get food and water. You can get fucking, well, we're struggling to get food, but there's water coming out of the taps. Just don't pay your fucking water bill.
Because we all
by law, they can't cut you off.
know the UK economy is in a real mess. Energy prices are going up again at the end of September, which basically means everything is going to go up.
This is a prime example of why the UK is in its worst economic situation in over 50 years. The UK has spent £1.2 billion on the planning of a...
Something I saw yesterday, actually, about, what was it, borrowing in our country. So Keir Starmer has literally had the biggest borrowing stint ever recorded since records began. I think it's something like 12 or 18 billion borrowed. Like, it's the most ever. Like, our country is, let's just say we're going to hit recession, and we're going to hit it hard.
Thames River crossing with no construction.
So £400 billion was spent during COVID, and you'd never believe this. Half of it was lost.
Half of it was exploited, and it wasn't lost, it was stolen, essentially. 100% easily stolen.
Money that we've lost in the economy from Brexit is like unfathomable.
So we basically transferred all of the debts and all the liabilities to the taxpayer, and now we're seeing the fruits of those terrible mistakes because we never solved any of the causes of any of the problems.
Can anyone actually afford to live in the UK anymore? 479,000 people left the UK in 2024. That's a 19% increase on the year before.
People that think like £100 is a lot of money, £500, even £1,000 is a lot of money, God bless their hearts. Because in this day and age, I can literally leave my house and spend £100 like that.
Cost of living is so high now. I just can't see us getting better because successive governments haven't seemed to care.
So the farmers are really struggling, which means food prices are going to go up. It's going to be a very long, hard and very expensive winter.
You got to take a loan out to go get yourself some chicken. Just to get yourself a good meal.
In 2024, 320,000 people were pushed into poverty because of mortgage interest rate increases. But in general, you being in debt is what keeps the economy as we know it running, which is why nothing is going to be done about it.
Guys, are we all planning to leave the UK and move abroad? Because, wallah, I'm on it. Like, there genuinely might be no benefit staying here long term. Let me break it down for you.
The Office for National Statistics just released some new data, and the UK is completely finished. Any hope you had of buying a house or using public services, just give up. It's done.
Everybody is doing what they can to try and escape the UK. You might need to be selfish.
I don't feel like I'm even surviving. I just exist at this point. I'm seeing this a hell of a lot on my comments on these videos about energy prices, tax rises, just basically everything you can think of increasing.
This is how we fix the UK economy in under a minute.
Go on. Have a brew.
Welcome back to Broken Britain, where in 2025,
Scorpion,
life itself
man.
has become a full-time job you
I
don't
love
even
this
get paid
Scorpion,
for.
motherfucker.
Existing isn't living anymore. It's surviving, barely. Every single part of daily life is a battle. Rent takes half your wages before you've even opened your fridge. The fridge itself, empty, because groceries have doubled in price while the packaging has shrunk. Energy bills are sky high, so you're either freezing in winter or boiling in summer, but either way, you're broke. And while all that's happening, wages are stuck, jobs are insecure, and every politician acts like it's your fault you can't budget better, as if a spreadsheet is going to magically make money appear in your bank account. What used to be the basics, food, shelter, heating, are now luxuries. Forget holidays, forget savings, forget a future. Most of us are just trying to make it to the end of the month without sinking further into debt. This is the reality of modern Britain. Survival mode only. And the worst part? They tell us this is normal, that this is just how it is. But it's not normal, it's broken. And people are sick of being blamed for struggling in a system that was never designed for us to win. Today on Brit Rants, we're ripping into the harsh truth. Why life in this economy feels impossible, why existing itself now comes with a price tag, and why ordinary Brits are done with pretending things are fine.
Do you think the Labour Finance Department wake up in shock that the economy isn't growing as promised? When will anyone in that party realise that high tax, higher council tax, higher national insurance, higher tax doesn't grow an economy?
Can anyone actually afford to live in the UK anymore? 479,000 people left the UK in 2024. That's a 19% increase on the year before. 10,800 millionaires left the UK in 2024. That's more than double the number to previous year. It equals to 1 millionaire leaving the UK every 45 minutes. UK's millionaire exodus compares to losing 530,000 taxpayers per year. 1 millionaire's tax payment is equivalent to 49 average taxpayers. So my advice, if you're under 40, leave the UK.
UK economy is on its knees, and I know it sounds cliche, but the UK is going to pieces. There is now literally no reason why anyone who has a thriving economic business would locate to the UK and create jobs in this country. And we're seeing that with the current status of the job market, where it's so competitive because everyone is competing for both skilled jobs and unskilled jobs. I've seen comments from people that say they're having to go through 4-round interviews for a job that pays £25,000 a year. And you've got jobs that pay £23,000 a year asking for bachelor degrees. And some are even asking for masters. So people are overqualified going into a pool of candidates that is completely saturated, applying for jobs that don't actually pay a living wage. And that pretty much sums up life in the UK right now. And with so many things going wrong in this country, it seems like the only guarantee or the only sure thing is you creating your own path. That essentially means finding a way to make money that's outside of your job, that you are in more control of. With the rise of social media, there are so many ways now to make money online. From selling physical products, through to doing affiliate marketing, from getting paid for UGC to getting paid for creating content for TikTok, IG and YouTube. And I think more and more people are being pushed against a wall. They're between a rock and a hard place, and they're having to turn to methods of making money that they hadn't thought of previously. But seriously, if you're watching this video and you haven't already tried to start making money outside of your job, or if you're unemployed and have been for a while, consider starting to make money online. Go on my page, look at my previous videos. I've shared tons of examples where people are doing different side hustles and making extra money. It's getting to a point now where people will have to do these types of things for survival, so drop the pride and just start today. If you want some more ideas and tips, make sure to follow my account. I talk about side hustles, investing, pensions, and how to make money online.
Our plan for change is putting working people first. The £3 bus fare cap has already cut costs for families. We're extending it, making travel simpler, cheaper and better for everyone. Council tax is up, food prices are up, energy bills are up, car tax is now going up, water bills have gone up, just to name a few. I mean, imagine bragging about that. Oh, it's £3 to rice to... Give over. Give over. If you start saving people money on household bills, I think they'd be a bit more appreciative of that. But not on bus fares. I can't remember the last time I got on a bus, to be honest. I'd rather you knock my council tax down like 10, 15%. I'd like it if you started knocking energy bills and water bills down. That would be very much appreciated. Then you could put your tweets out. Then you'd get your round of applause. Then you'd get your backing and your support. But when you... It's the Breakfast Clubs all over again, people. Any little positive, they're all over it. Like, oh my God, look at what we're doing. It's good, but it's not what people want. People want more. Should be doing more because you've come in and you've just literally nosedived. And you're still down there. Your rating, the polls, just all evident for you to see. But, you know, £3 for a bus ride, you know, people. We're winning with that one.
If they wanted to teach you, they would, but they won't, so I will. In 2024, 320,000 people were pushed into poverty because of mortgage interest rate increases. But in general, you being in debt is what keeps the economy as we know it running, which is why nothing is going to be done about it. And in all honesty, it's also why there is no formal education when it comes to finances in school. We are all taught about health and the dangers of things that might lead to us being a burden to the healthcare system, which in turn will cost the government money. So why not teach everyone from a young age how to look after their money so that they don't end up drowning in debt, which leads to mental health issues and can even go as far as leading to people ending it all? The answer is honestly because too many powerful, disgustingly wealthy people benefit from our lack of understanding of how money and, more importantly, debt works. According to PwC, total household debt in the UK now exceeds £2 trillion. Trillion. Deep that. And when you think about it, it makes perfect sense given the way our economy works. People who invest in businesses want the value of their investment to increase. The only way to do that really is to increase profits year on year on year, which in reality isn't sustainable because at some point your customers are going to run out of money unless you can convince them to buy your products with money they don't have, which they do really successfully. That is why businesses make things more and more expensive by utilizing subscription services, removing the ability to password share, and just generally increase the price of their goods. You pair all of that with a mentality of consumerism and you have a recipe for disaster. Well, for us. This is what leads to people suffering from debt so extensively, especially in the West. It drives business profits while simultaneously destroying our finances. And people in other parts of the world like Africa, Asia, and the Caribbean tend to buy most of their possessions outright. But because we aren't taught about the dangers of credit and how that can very quickly lead to debt, companies know that they can sell it to us easily with insanely high interest rates.
How many of you have got credit out there? You got to let me know in the comments or on the live stream. How many of you are rocking with a car finance, credit card, a mortgage? Just let me know. I'll be interested. And how deep are you in?
Because we have been conditioned to want things now. And that is the way in which lenders up and down the country end up making trillions in profit. All of that money leaves our pockets and enters theirs because a lot of people don't know any better. Now, if everyone was provided with a basic education in finance so they could fully understand the effects of the financial decisions they make and what their options are, then a lot of people would be a lot better off. Which is exactly why you should drop me a follow to learn more about how you can take control of your finances.
So, as Rachel Reeves and Keir Starmer said, all we want is growth, growth, growth. We got growth, 0.1%. Yeah, 0.1% growth. On top of that, we have 4,500 companies that have shut the doors since December, pretty much since the budget. Sorry, that's a lie, since October to December. It's pretty much since the budget. We have unemployment skyrocketing. In 2024, in total, there was 13,479 stores closed. Don't worry, we've got a growth budget. What we're going to do with that is we're going to smash employers with NI. Brilliant idea. What happens then? We offset the cost to the consumer. But don't worry about it, we're putting up your national minimum wage. But by doing that, we're also making a lot of people redundant because the companies can't take it. And before you turn around to me and say, oh, well, these companies weren't feasible, they weren't this, they weren't that, they weren't the other. They just weren't expecting a growth budget, which is the complete opposite, causing stagnation, redundancies, store closures. It's all about the economy. It's going well.
So, myself, I've still got the bus. I've got catering business. I've not actually run it since, start of this year. food costs just they spiraled out of control, fully spiraled out of control. I mean, when I was getting my beef from the butchers, it was like £4.90 per kilo on trade or something like that, trade value. Really, really good value, good quality beef, all local, 20 miles from me. But now I go in there and it's like 14 quid a kilo, and it's not their fault. Like they kept it low for ages. I was running my business for years, and it was 4 quid. Even when they were cheaper than, it was cheaper to go to my butchers than it was to go to Aldi or Sainsbury's this year for a little while. But yeah, obviously the prices have now caught up, and yeah, I just physically cannot afford, and I can't justify charging someone 12 quid for a burger. I just can't justify it. So that's why my business is closed now, and yeah, the economy didn't help that.
This is a prime example of why the UK is in its worst economic situation in over 50 years. The UK has spent £1.2 billion on the planning of a Thames river crossing with no construction. This staggering sum has been spent on planning, consultations and legal fees, highlighting the costly nature of the UK's planning.
Okay, so what I get from this, they spent how much? Let's go back a second. Let's roll it back a second.
50 years. The UK has spent £1.2 billion.
£1.2 billion in just planning alone. So £1.2 billion has been spent on people just sitting in an office, consulting, saying yes or no to something. It's just theft at this point. It's people thinking they're doing something, but they're really not. They're just stealing money off of people.
On the planning of a Thames river crossing with no construction. This staggering sum has been spent on planning, consultations and legal fees, highlighting the costly nature of the UK's planning system. The project, which aims to alleviate congestion and boost connectivity, is facing rising costs and potential delays. Despite these challenges, the government is exploring private financing options to move the project forward, which
private financing options means we're going to borrow more money.
Actually makes things even worse and more expensive for the taxpayer, because at the end of the day, these poor decisions cost taxpayers hundreds of pounds each per year, something that can easily be resolved by reviewing these expensive contractors. Let me know if you agree in the comments, and as always, follow for more.
This is how we fix the UK economy in under a minute.
Go on then.
The economy is flatlining because people aren't spending enough money because they don't have enough money in the first place. We say in this country that some people have to choose between eating and heating, but we understand that the economy is in a better place so people can afford to pay for both. So how do we make that possible? Copy Belgium and make it a legal requirement for companies to give at least pay rises at or above inflation rates, let's say plus 2%. But wait, won't that induce a wage price inflation spiral? No, because inflation only happens if companies increase their prices, which only happens if the total costs go up, not just the wages. All we need is a mechanism to bring companies' other costs down whilst raising wages at the same time. But how do we do that? Well, with all the extra VAT you're about to bring in now, people have more money to spend on the things they need. You can use that money, plus the money you're about to make from fining the utility companies for running those services so badly, to buy the utility companies and take back control of the water and the energy sectors. Once you've done that, you get to set the price, and if you set it low to offset all the pay rises companies now have to give to their employees, then boom, no more inflation. People are spending more money, means businesses make more money, means the government gets to tax the proceeds to spend elsewhere, and the only losers are the people who filled the rivers and seas with shit and made you pay for the nose for the river. On the last word.
Come on, 58 seconds. You did good, mate. You did good. We're even gonna rewind it, mate. You get a second play. Ready?
The economy is flatlining because people aren't spending enough money because they don't have enough money in the first place. We say in this country that some people have to choose between eating and heating, but we understand that the economy is in a better place so people can afford to pay for both. So how do we make that possible? Copy Belgium and make it a legal requirement for companies to give at least pay rises at or above inflation rates, let's say plus 2%. But wait, won't that induce a wage price inflation spiral? No, because inflation only happens if companies increase their prices, which only happens if the total costs go up, not just the wages. All we need is a mechanism to bring companies' other costs down whilst raising wages at the same time. But how do we do that? Well, with all the extra extra VAT you're about to bring in, now people have more money to spend on the things they need, you can use that money, plus the money you're about to make from fining the utility companies for running those services so badly, to buy the utility companies and take back control of the water and the energy sectors. Once you've done that, you get to set the price, and if you set it low to offset all the pay rises companies now have to give to their employees, then boom, no more inflation. People are spending more money, means businesses make more money, means the government gets to tax the proceeds to spend elsewhere, and the only losers are the people who filled the rivers and seas with and made you pay for the nose for the river. Fuck on the last word. Privilege. Economy fixed. You're welcome, Britain.
I don't feel like I'm even surviving. I just exist at this point. I'm seeing this a hell of a lot on my comments on these videos about energy prices, tax rises, just basically everything you can think of increasing. And that's going to have a knock-on effect to you, to us. And it's coming to the end of the holidays. Kids are going to go back to school. You've got to fork out for uniforms. And I don't understand how this government can't see how much of an impact all these tax rises and increasing costs and stuff. It massively affects people mentally, physically. I'm telling you now, and you can put it in the comments, there will be people at home right now getting very upset that they can't afford shoes for the kids to go back to school. They can't afford the PE kits. The mere thought of having to go out and spend that money that they've not got just to get the kids to school, bags, coats, the stationery, that's just one little topic. Got to get all your food on top. Some kids wouldn't have even seen a fucking holiday this in the 6-week holidays. Caravan holiday, a holiday abroad. Some families are very lucky. They could be people, mum and dad both working the grafting, and they still can't afford to make ends meet because the system's broken, people. And this is where this comes in. Not even surviving, I'm just existing, because all people are doing is working the bollocks off, which we do, people. And honestly, I give it to hats off to people. We as people work our nuts off, and we get nothing but absolutely crucified when it comes to money. But yeah, I can't see it getting any better, because all I'm seeing in the news today is taxes are going up, public spending's being cut. They've got us in a chokehold, people.
I don't think people grasp just how bad the British economy is. The average person in the UK was more economically active nearly 20 years ago than they are today. This isn't just pointless rambling and complaining. Every other economy has not just recovered, they've seen economic prosperity since the 2008 financial crisis. Per capita, we were doing better than the United States in 2007. Now, to say that they've surpassed us is an understatement. We are one of the least productive countries in Western Europe. The only country that loses more millionaires per year than the UK is China, a communist country with 20 times the population of the UK. Oh my God! Okay, jokes and screaming aside, listen, there's no easy fix to this, so please don't believe the ridiculous politicians we have in this country when they come on this app and go, yeah, guys, like, all we have to do is this and the whole thing's fixed. I'm sure we'll figure it out, right? We always do, but please, please, please don't fall into politicians' false lies saying that they're going to fix all of this, that as soon as they get into power, not anyone else, as soon as they get into power, our quality of life is just going to skyrocket. They all say the same thing.
Even most British and Europeans don't know this, but parts of England are poorer than southern Italy and Sicily, which is insane. Bro, England as a whole, I think, is like poorer than some of America's poorest states. You take London out of the equation, it is like straight up third world conditions. Fuck off, bro. We aren't that poor. No, absolutely. England absolutely is that poor. What do you mean? I don't know why you're getting offended at this, because America has parts of America that are also resembling third world like conditions. I don't know why the fuck you would get mad at this. It is just our government's literally robbing us fucking blind. Like, it has nothing to do with you or your personal experience at all.
I hate Hassan so much. He's so full of shit. This makes no sense, yeah. Let's stop.
They get into power, our quality of life is just going to skyrocket. They all say the same thing.
Even most British and Europeans don't know this, but parts of England are poorer than southern Italy and Sicily, which is insane. Bro, England as a whole, I think, is like poorer than some of America's poorest states.
You know, that could be true, especially with that GDP thing. I'll give him that one.
You take London out of the equation, it is like straight up third world conditions.
No. just straight up no. It's not third world conditions. I have running water, I've got electric, there's gas in many, I don't have gas personally, but there's gas running in many places. Third world conditions, my ass, you can't. I don't live in a mud hut and I have to go and fucking walk 6 miles just to get fresh water.
Fuck off, bro. We aren't that poor. No, absolutely. England absolutely is that poor. What
We are poor. We are being stretched, but we're not a third world.
do you mean? I don't know why you're getting offended at this, because America has parts of America that are also resembling third world.
Yeah, resembling third world. Doesn't mean it's third world.
Like conditions. I don't know why the fuck you would get mad at this. It is just our government's literally robbing us fucking blind.
Yeah, and that's all it is. We're just being squeezed. It doesn't mean you're third world. We've still got all this wonderful infrastructure around us. We've still got all this, running water. You know, we've got supermarkets. Even though we can't afford them, we still got them.
Like, it has nothing to do with you or your personal experience at all. It had everything to do with mismanagement and horrifying austerity that your own fucking leaders have subjected you to. Similar to what has happened in the United States of America. This is neoliberalism without any sort of contest in the post-Cold War, in the aftermath of the Cold War. Neoliberalism, uncontested, has basically created colonial conditions internally. It has basically brought back the colonial ambition and rampant exploitation back into the fucking mainland.
Everybody is doing what they can to try and...
I hate Hassan so much. He just spews off so much bullshit all the time.
Back into the fucking mainland.
Everybody is doing what they can to try and escape the UK. You might need to be selfish. Be careful of the people around you that are telling you, no, you shouldn't be doing it, it's not good. Those people have no aspirations to do anything with their life. So they want you to just stay here in misery with them. I don't want to be miserable. I don't want to be miserable. I want to be happy. I don't want to get paid on Friday, and due to the astronomical cost of living, by Monday I have nothing left in my account. All these institutions are just putting up walls as quick as they can. You think you have all the time in the world. You're running out of time. You that's just sitting down, just waiting, scrolling TikTok, Instagram, just scrolling, looking, oh, what's this? That's funny. If you miss that opportunity, you might live to regret it for the next 5 to 10 years. And watching this play out will not end well. What does the UK look like in the next 5 to 10 years? I couldn't even predict what this country is going to look like. One thing's for certain, it's not going to get better. Give it a go. Try. Don't just sit there and be passive about this.
Shout out to my Netherlands homies. I did try and move over there. Oh, when was it? Back in 2011 to 2012, I think I was over in Holland. Living out there. Good times, man. Good times. But, I don't know. There's something... I just need to be on this soil for some reason.
You need to be active. You need to be on it. You need to be on job. Whatever skill you have, go out into the world market and see where there's a demand for that skill. And if that country or that culture aligns with what you're trying to do in the next 5 to 10 years, then absolutely go for it. You can always come back.
People that think like £100 is a lot of money, £500, even £1,000 is a lot of money, God bless their hearts. Because in this day and age, I can literally leave my house and spend £100 like that. Literally like that. You can literally walk into Superdrug and buy 5 items and spend £60 on them. Like, I'm not even joking. Superdrug, I try to steer away from that shop because I walk out so unhappy each and every time. Like, when it's that monthly time where I need to go and do my stock ups and I have to walk into Superdrug, I'm crying the whole time because I know it's never going to amount to anything less than £30. Ever. Even £1,000. £1,000 can be spent like that. Like, you don't understand. Like, money...
I'm spending £1,000 on Friday. New car, baby.
It's just, I don't understand. Like, when I was younger, I used to look at £1,000 and £100 like so much money. I used to go to the cinema. I used to ask my mum for £20 on the weekend to like go to the cinema, do...
It was a tenner for me. I used to ask my mum and dad for a tenner. That would get me a bus to the cinema, a McDonald's, a cinema ticket, and a bus back. And I'd still have like a quid left.
Other bits on the side. Like, I used to be able to do like 3-4 activities with £20. Now, I can just about fucking buy a meal with £20. Can you imagine?
The Office for National Statistics just released some new data and the UK is completely finished. Any hope you had of buying a house or using public services, just give up. It's done. So about 5 million people will leave the UK by 2032 and 10 million people are going to come in. So our net migration figure is going to be about 5 million. But there's an argument being made that the 5 million people that are leaving the country are more economically active, or would have been more economically active, than the 10 million people coming in. The UK is losing more millionaires, entrepreneurs, doctors, lawyers, teachers than basically any other European country because we have horrible tax laws and our country's cost of living is ridiculous. You might say, whatever, you know, we got 5 million extra people, will do great. And that's a good idea in theory. The issue is Labour will not build enough houses. Even with their ambitious plan of building 1.5 million houses, that's going to barely house the people that need houses now, let alone the 5 million extra people that are going to be here by 2032. You know that long wait at the doctor you're already experiencing? Yeah, imagine that, but now there's 5 million more people in the line. I think the NHS has a backlog of 7 million people. It's going to be closer to what, 12 million now? Good luck, everyone.
So £400 billion was spent during COVID, and you'd never believe this. Half of it was lost.
I believe
But
that.
before I carry on,
It wasn't.
honestly,
stolen.
share this video and watch this video and share it, because I'm not just saying that, but people need to see what the government is spending our money on. The only way that people are going to see this is if you guys share these videos. I never realised this stuff until I started researching. So I'm just looking here now, and £200 billion of the 400 has not even been accounted for. So 47 billion was lost to furlough fraud, 15 billion on empty hospitals like Nightingale, 12 billion on unusable PPE, 37 billion on test and trace.
That was Sunak's wife. She was part of the firm that took that contract on, the test and trace. And it's funny how that's the biggest.
138 billion just ticked off as miscellaneous with no clear breakdown. I'm sure there's more things that you guys know and you'd be able to share on TikTok. Share your comments on TikTok and tell us what else that the government's been spending the money on, because more people need to share these videos and more people need to be aware of what they're actually spending as taxpayers' money on. Tell us what your thoughts are.
This is how people have been paying more tax without even realizing it. Somebody pointed out that the UK government raises your taxes every year behind your back. And the way this happens is through a concept known as fiscal drag. This is where tax brackets are not increasing at the same rate as wages are increasing. And someone points out that if tax brackets keep up with inflation, the tax-free threshold should be 16k, not the 12 point something thousand that it is. And the 40% tax rate should kick in at 65 to 70k, and 45% should be about 200k. VAT thresholds should be closer to 120,000. Imagine you earned £10,000 a year, right? And the tax rule said that anybody who earns above £10,200, you're paying higher tax. Inflation then goes up by 2%, and your company gives you a 2% pay rise, so now you earn £10,200. Because your salary went up at the same level of inflation, your standard of living hasn't actually changed. Like, you're not any richer or poorer than you were before because you can afford to buy the same amount of goods. The issue is you're now in the next tax bracket and you're now going to be paying more in tax, despite the fact that lifestyle-wise, you actually haven't gone anywhere. That is how fiscal drag works, and that is how the government is able to raise taxes without actually raising taxes.
I don't know if you agree with me at all, but I am just fed up with the issues that we see in the UK. In my opinion, I think the UK has been in decline for the best part of 2 decades. I've been lucky over my adult life to travel to quite a few countries now, you know, Asia, Japan, China, a lot of Europe as well. And when you visit different countries, it almost highlights the issues we have in the UK even more. Don't get me wrong, I'm certainly not saying these countries are perfect. And there's obviously some level of rose-tinted glasses when you visit these countries. You know, infrastructure's a big one. The quality of our roads compared to a lot of countries just seems shocking nowadays. I actually think our mobile network infrastructure is shocking as well. I've been in quite remote areas, you know, in Italy or France, and I've still got brilliant 5G signal. And yet in the UK, it seems congested in...
It's because we burnt all of our 5G towers during COVID lockdown.
built-up areas or non-existent in rural areas. You know, our public services are crumbling. I would say a lot of these countries just seem cleaner as well. I mean, housing, there's another issue. In our country now, about 30 to 40% of people's wages are spent on housing. Suppose I could go on, can I? But yeah, at the end of the day, I just don't see our political class getting on top of the issues we have in this country. And whilst I understand those countries have their own issues as well, I start to go, why, as one of the world's richest countries, do we have such a poorer standard of living than probably 20 years ago? I mean, there's another moan. Cost of living is so high now. I just can't see us getting better because successive governments haven't seemed to care. Anyways, rant over. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with what I'm saying? Or do you have your own points as well? And before you go, don't forget to like and follow for more finance and investing content.
Do you know what really fucks me off in this country?
Go on, lad.
The fact that Labour, I've just done a spending review, and now all the Tories are complaining, saying we're going to have tax rises, we're going to have to do this, we're going to have to do that. Labour have ruined the economy, blah, blah, blah. It's all bollocks. Like, are we forgetting that the Tories were in charge for 14 years? Are we forgetting that they brought about the biggest mistake of our lifetime in Brexit? The money that we've lost in the economy from Brexit is like unfathomable, all because they wanted to take back control of the country, take back their borders, and it's a load of old shit. And then the people that get it in the neck are the migrants and people wanting to come here to actually do the work, whilst some British people sit on their backside in the council houses scrounging off benefits. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's people out there who want to work for us, and there's people sitting at home who I have had the unfortunate experience of seeing doing nothing, living off benefits, not getting a job, and absolutely loving life. And all the Tories can say is it's Labour's fault. Reform are out there giving it all the big un, saying they're going to do this, that and the other without costing anything that could absolutely ruin the country. Nigel Farage doesn't give a toss about anybody else but himself. And the fact that we did the whole Brexit thing and £350 million going back to the NHS and it hasn't happened, and people still voted for him to be an MP, is beyond me. Like, we are talking about some of the richest people in this country telling you, the people who are working their asses off, that you need to do more or we need to pay more because the migrants are scrounging off us, but he's sitting there in his little castle. What?
It's true.
It makes no sense at all. This country makes no sense. And do you know what? I'm not letting Labour off the hook here because they have had a year of shit communication. Like, I'm not being funny, but the way that the message to this country will get through is by better communication. Keir Starmer can't talk for shit. Rachel Reeves can't talk for shit. And what they're doing sometimes is actually quite good, but they're just so bad at communicating it, it hurts. Like, so bad. Just talk like a normal person. We don't need your politician speech. We don't need your rough around the edges or like sort of treading on eggshells. The way you talk is so annoying. Just talk like a normal person. If it's black, say it's black. If it's white, say it's white. Do you know what I mean? Don't just keep going around the houses trying to like con us all or convince us all of something other. Just be honest with us. We're not stupid. Well, actually, the people who voted for Brexit probably are stupid. If you vote for Brexit, you are stupid, and I hope you've realised your mistake. But I'm just so sick of the constant like infighting with the parties, and then we're all forgotten about.
I didn't vote for
no one
Brexit,
ever sort of actually thinks about us. Like, does anybody actually think about the people that are out there working? I just think it's bollocks. It's absolute bollocks. The country is on its arse. The country is actually on its arse, and I don't see a better or a way out of this. I don't look to anybody and go, oh, I see their vision. I see what they want to do. Because all Labour do is say they want change. You're in power, you can change it, but do bigger things. Like, all you're doing is just like a little bit here, a little bit there. Fuck it, just do it, because we're literally on the edge of a bloody breakdown here. Reform are just talking about, well, Reform's just a party of bigots, let's be honest. The Tories have got not a leg to stand on. 14 years they were in charge, and look at the state we're in. It's down to them. Look at the state. The Lib Dems shouldn't have ever had a coalition with the Tories, because that's why they're where they are. But Ed Davey, again, he actually Ed Davey speaks some sense, and Lib Dems probably speak a lot more sense than most of the other parties. But because of the right-wing media that we have, they don't get a look in. because Nigel Farage or Richard Tice is on there. It's absolutely bonkers. It's ridiculous. Our country is backwards. And the people I blame the most are Tory voters, Brexit voters, the media. Like, I listen to some of the podcasts that are like the Sky News podcast. Oh my God. You couldn't get more right wing if you tried. And they're trying to like cozy up to people. Oh, it's ridiculous. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm losing hope in this country. No wonder people are moving abroad. No wonder people are going to Dubai and all these places, because they don't have this sort of overbearing sort of presence of the government always looking for something else and making mistakes and just not being honest with people. Anyway, that was my rant for today.
Anytime me hear the postman at the door, me nervous. Me get nervous. So the postman just come with me new rent letter and me council tax. Rent gone up, council tax gone up, but me never get no letter about my wages. So what? The wages now go up. Like, I don't understand this council tax thing, yeah? Because if you're not working, yeah, council tax is like £20, 25 the most. But if you are work, it's over £120. Like, make that make sense. Like, this country is so depressing. Like, all the bills. Why can't the bills be every 3 to 6 months? Like, why does it have to be every month? Like, come on now.
Has anybody else noticed the rampant food inflation in the UK? In April, I paid £9.40 for 2 organic rump steaks. The same steaks are now £12.60. Because Tesco Club cards, Nectar points, etc. are an absolute nightmare for food inflation. As of 4 days ago, UK food inflation unexpectedly rose to about 4.5%. Mind you, the general benchmark for inflation in the UK is 2.5%. Now, of course, there's going to be lots of factors as to why food inflation is high, but I actually do like the fact that that person called out the whole Nectar points, club card prices thing in particular, because that system is so bad for consumers. These supermarket companies are effectively saying there are 2 tiers of pricing, and to be able to have the normal level of prices, give us your data, because obviously when you sign up for a club card or something like that, you need to exchange some of your personal data and they track, you know, what is it that you shop, etc., etc. And I'm like, that just doesn't seem good for consumers. And I understand why some people have actually spoken out about this, including people like Martin Lewis.
Is anyone else with me on the fact that the price of Nando's today compared to 2015, even 2017, is ridiculous? Bear in mind, this is only individual pieces of chicken. Okay? Because when you put the one side, or the 2 sides, you got to take a loan out to go get yourself some chicken. Just to get yourself a good meal. Back in the day, that was your college spot. That was your lunch spot, okay? You may skip a class, you want to go down to the Nando's, get yourself a cheeky Nando's in the middle of the day. You might go every day of the week, you know? That one week you thought, let's go to Nando's for the week, guys. Oh, you may go 2-3 times. You still on go. Because you know why? Because we could afford it then. Now, they're trying to take our accounts. Because, my God, this is premium date spot now. Maybe the 3rd or 4th date, but premium date spot. Because 2025, the disrespect.
Hello there, come on in. This is the communal hallway, never clean, never bad, but it really gives it that shabby chic, don't you think? Flat is on the 6th floor, there isn't a lift, hasn't worked since 2001. The light for the hallway is on a timer, so you do have to be quite quick running up. So as mentioned, it is a 2-bed flat, so there'll be yourself and 7 others. Not quite sure what that smell is, but I'm sure it'll go. If you do hear any weird sounds, it's just the neighbours. They smoke a lot of crap. The thing I love about this flat is its original features, including the oven. We've got the living room here, no access to that, I'm afraid. The attic space there, I wouldn't open that if I were you. I wouldn't, yeah, okay. Smoke alarm there. Unfortunately, it does not work. With some properties, you'll find that the flooring goes all the way to the wall. But here, we've done something really special. We've actually stopped it about 1 inch from the wall and stuffed it with this lovely silver wiring. And I think it really gives it that je ne sais quoi. So, what do you guys think?
Guys, are we all planning to leave the UK and move abroad? Because, well, I'm on it. Like, there genuinely might be no benefit staying here long term. Let me break it down for you. All my friends or anyone that I've spoken to that has moved abroad and left the UK, it's like a third eye has opened here and they've seen the world in a different light. Now, here it comes down to one simple thing: quality of life. Now, we know the UK is notoriously expensive. Now, yes, that's an issue, but that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is what you're getting in return. Let me just give you an example. A 2-bedroom apartment, meaty, just a normal apartment, you're paying about 1,600, 1,700 minimum. That's without bills, that's without council tax, might not even come with parking, doesn't include security, doesn't include a gym, doesn't include a swimming pool. And even if it did include a swimming pool, you're never going to use it because look at the weather. I'll take 1,600, 1,700 and just look at apartments in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Doha, Thailand, Bali. Bro, genuinely, you might cry, I'll be honest. And that price is even a stretch. You can get a proper nice apartment, not far from the city centre, with security, gym, parking, swimming pool, beautiful weather, nice people. Let's not talk about the people here either. All for the exact same price or much, much, much cheaper. And look at other factors as well. Security, not really there. Economy, cost of living seems to be going up. Salaries aren't matching that. What's that about? Again, go back to quality of life. I want to go out with my boys, for example. In the UK, I'll be going to a media restaurant with nothing really special about it. I might walk away from that paying 40 or 50 pounds. Take that to a different country. For example, Dubai. I can sit down, have a nice meal, a drink, maybe shisha. The service I'm getting, the guy that is serving me is probably the nicest human in all of mankind history. I'm looking at the Burj Khalifa. I'm hearing Adele singing her lungs out and fountains just going crazy. You might be paying the same price. Look what you're getting in return, you mug. So just shout me in it. Where we going, man? I'm on it.
So we basically transferred all of the debts and all the liabilities to the taxpayer. And now we're seeing the fruits of those terrible mistakes because we never solved any of the causes of any of the problems. This is now a sovereign debt crisis. So you can have growth, you can have quite a lot of growth if you want, but until the government addresses their imminent bankruptcy. People have been asking me why the UK is bankrupt, because we're seeing all these growth figures all over the news, fastest growing economy. So I wanted to just spend a couple of minutes trying to explain why the UK is bankrupt and why it's not going to get any better. Let's get into it. So we have a very different crisis now than the one that we had in 2008. So for people that are a bit older, in 2008 we had a massive banking crisis in the UK, and the high street banks effectively were bankrupt, and they would have run out of cash within hours, other people's cash. So the government had to come in and bail them out. That had a series of unintended consequences. So the government was a lot more indebted because it had to borrow billions and billions of pounds, printed money, to bail out banks such as the Royal Bank of Royal Bank of Scotland, sorry, and like banks that were insolvent because they were irresponsible in all of their dealings as a banking institution. And as a result of that, we reduced interest rates to 0%, and we were strapped for cash ever since, which meant we never invested in the economy in the way that we should have done. And that's why we never got any growth. So we kept compounding the problem by not investing in infrastructure, not sorting out the cause of the problem, and then we just stagnated for longer and longer. And then, of course, a couple of other things happened since then, for example, Brexit and COVID. So now we're in a position where, and I have to give the government some sympathy for this, they have inherited a mess, because we've now got close to 100% debt to GDP, and the bond market is constraining the government from what they can do, because they're scared of another Liz Truss moment or another 2008 moment where all the credit evaporated. So whereas before we had a credit crunch where no one could get any credit, and the banks were effectively bust, so there's private institutions. Now we've got a very different problem where there's still loads of credit available, but you've got runaway inflation and you've got governments that are bust, not private institutions, because when we bailed out the banks, we basically transferred all of the
get that bail back from
debts and all the liabilities to
the
taxpayer. And now we're seeing the fruits of those terrible mistakes because we never solved any of the causes of any of the problems. So this is now a sovereign debt crisis. So you can have growth, you can have quite a lot of growth if you want, but
like, hey,
until the government addresses their imminent bankruptcy and pensions that we can't afford and start reforming the spending that we actually make as an economy, the runaway spending on pensions and benefits, We're going to continue seeing the same problems, the same constraints, no matter who we have in power. And this is the point I'm going to get across, trying to get across from an economic reality perspective. I'm not left or right. I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm trying to explain the practical reasons as to why Rachel Reid, as much as I can't stand her, as much as she's made these problems worse since she came into government, she's in a very difficult position between a rock and a hard place. And because she's not competent, she won't get out of it until she quits. Hope I've cheered you up. See you in the next one.
I find super hard to comprehend sometimes is that families in the UK 50 or 60 years ago could comfortably live off a very normal salary of just one person, yet now people can barely afford to live off two salaries in the UK. What has gone wrong? What have we done to really screw this whole thing up?
Is it just me, or is anyone else wondering how on earth Rachel Reeves still has her job? Because how long have Labour been in power? Less than a year? Just under a year, isn't it? Maybe it's a year. I don't know. I feel like that's irrelevant right now. They were moaning about a 22 billion black hole that the Conservatives left. And in a year, or just less than a year, they have deepened that black hole by £30 billion. 30 billion? Where's all our money gone? Because they're taxing us all to death. They're bankrupting the country. And yet we're 30 billion down. Make it make sense.
Because they're borrowing like crazy.
Exchequer, like, surely you have to be good at maths to do that job, because her math isn't mathing. And now, what is their solution? Oh, they're just going to tax us some more. They're just going to take every last penny that we have.
Yeah.
Because people are clearly not struggling enough in this country, the working people. Our government.
That's right, we're not struggling.
And they are traitors.
Oh, what do you mean? Cost of living crisis?
Good morning. I really want to try and help you because we all know the UK economy is in a real mess. Energy prices are going up again at the end of September, which basically means everything is going to go up. And we've had the driest summer on record, so the farmers are really struggling, which means food prices are going to go up. It's going to be a very long, hard and very expensive winter. But I can help because I can show you how to start a business for £10.
Saturday, so
Most
I'll live in
people
that.
earn £2,000 in their first 30 days by just following a system. It's very simple. We're just helping other people save money, which is a really lovely thing to do. It is only for UK people, but for my international friends, I can recommend you on to a friend who runs a global business, which is also doing really, really well. But back to the UK, not only can I help you with that business startup, which will bring you in a consistent
How is
income.
everyone this morning?
In fact, we get paid in 8 different ways. But also,
You feeling the
I can
pinch?
help you save hundreds of pounds a year
put the
off your
poll up.
utility bills and shopping. So please do get in touch. Like, comment, share this video. Let's get it out to as many people as we possibly can. But if you do want more info, then respond to the email address in the description so that I don't miss you, and I can help you either make money from a £10 investment a few hours a week, or I can help you save money on all those really expensive bills that are just going up and up and up. So have a wonderful day, make sure you make it count, and whatever you're doing today, I hope it's a good one.
And here's the kicker. It's not just a feeling that life is harder. The numbers back it up. In the UK, 1 in 5 households are skipping meals because they can't afford groceries. The average rent has shot up by over 10% in a single year, the fastest rise in decades. Energy bills? Still up nearly 60% compared to just a few years ago, even after so-called relief schemes. Wages? Stagnant for more than 15 years. This is the longest pay squeeze since the Napoleonic Wars. Let that sink in.
Right,
So when
polls
people
gone
say
up.
life feels impossible,
Are you
it's
feeling
not
the
exaggeration.
pinch? Short of money?
It's math.
Or you're not feeling
You
it
simply
yet?
can't stretch £1 across £2 worth of bills, food and housing. It doesn't add up, because the system itself doesn't add up. What's worse is that it isn't just young people. Boomers who worked their whole lives are now dipping into savings to keep the heating on.
Right, let's get our next one up. We want a freshy one today. Freshies. Hold on.
Broken fudging Britain.
Please tell me how I've just gone to Aldi to get this small amount of shopping.
How far does minimum wage actually go these days?
Doesn't.
The average rent in the UK is £1,000 a month, meaning you'll only have to work 81.9 hours for shelter.
Even though we are living through the period of the cost of living, it's actually made us realise huge money decisions.
Cost of living. So when I was in London, my bills and everything were extortionate, and compared to Melbourne, I definitely find it way cheaper.
I know that growing up today can be tough.
I truly believe that in 2025, the average UK salary should be a reflection of the average UK cost of living.
Just felt for a bit of fizzy. I bought this Coca-Cola in M&S. Guess how much it was? I'll wait. I'm not waiting. It was £3.
Alright, let's talk about something that every single person in the UK is feeling right now. The cost of living. Prices are skyrocketing, wages aren't keeping up, and it feels like just existing is getting more expensive by the week.
You know,
from your weekly food shop to your energy bills, rent, and even just grabbing a coffee. It's like the UK has turned survival into a luxury. And honestly, people are exhausted. It's not just numbers on a government chart, it's real lives being squeezed. Families cutting back on heating, young people giving up on the dream of owning a home, and workers doing extra hours just to make ends meet, all while corporations keep reporting record profits. In this video, we're breaking down what's really driving the UK's cost of living crisis. Why are groceries going up faster than wages? Why are rents eating up half of people's income? And most importantly, what does it mean for ordinary people trying to live a decent life in Britain today? Stick around, because this isn't just an economic story. It's a story about survival, frustration, and the future of the UK itself.
How far does minimum wage actually go these days? The average rent in the UK is £1,000 a month, meaning you'll only have to work 81.9 hours for shelter. The average utility bill in the UK is £260 a month, meaning it'll only cost you 21.2 hours. The average council tax band A is £120 a month, meaning it'll only cost you 9.8 hours. The average weekly food shop in the UK is £100, meaning it's £400 a month, which will only cost you 32.7 hours. Now we can all agree that these are all just basic necessities. But if somebody's working 40 hours a week, every single week on minimum wage, these basic necessities will cost them 3.6 weeks worth their wages per month. And you wonder why the economy is not growing.
What are you saying, guys? I'm just in Waitrose. Now, in UK, I don't shop at Waitrose. Why? It's too expensive. But I keep telling you people, Dubai is actually cheaper than the UK. And nobody believes me. Yes, if you live like a baller in Dubai, same as you live like a baller in UK, it's going to be expensive. But for everyday man living, Dubai is a lot cheaper. I've got an example for you. Right, see this here? Bottle of 7-Up free. Yeah, in UK, this is costing me a fair bit. You do the conversion, this bottle of 7-Up, this big ass bottle of 7-Up, is £1. And I'm in Waitrose. I'm not even in some discount pound shop or something like that. I'm in Waitrose and I've got a big ass bottle of 7-Up for £1. This is what I've been telling you people. UK, we're getting scammed, trust me.
Guys, everyone wants to talk about cost of living crisis. I just bought this Coca-Cola because I just felt for a bit of fizzy. I bought this Coca-Cola in M&S.
Basically, I was just showing you.
Guess how much it was? I'll wait.
The difference.
I'm not waiting. It was £3. This costs £3.
You actually get charged more to buy little bottles at the moment than the big bottles. And it's out of convenience, yeah? So they know that people grab these little bottles out of convenience, yeah, for their day, just walking around, you know, pop it open, look, 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 look. You can buy a 2 litre one or a 1.5 litre one for the exact same price. It's just not convenient.
And it was too late before I realised. I had to tap. I felt peer pressured to tap. He said card or cash, and I said card. £3. Do you know when you just feel like an idiot? Like, I just feel like I've just been taking the piss out of, like, he knows that he just played me, that man. I was supposed to just get petrol. My petrol was £20. And then I see £23. Oh, guys. It's not even a joke anymore. I don't think any of us are going to make it out alive from this
we'll be fine.
crisis that's going on right now. Even the rich motherfuckers.
We got this.
I think y'all going to struggle soon.
Nah, we got this.
Broken fudging Britain. Please tell me how I've just gone to Aldi to get this small amount of shopping. Not even a full bag, not even half a bag, and it's cost me £20. I can't even...
Can you let me know how do you guys do shopping? Are you getting a weekly shopping, or are you shopping every day? I currently shop every single day. I'll go to the shops every day and just buy what I need that day. But I cook a lot of my own food, so in that respect, it works out a bit cheaper. Like, I do cook pretty much all my food, so
make a meal out of this. All I got was some eggs.
Eggs, what? £3?
A couple of bananas.
£1.
Some Snickers bars.
Snickers bars, probably about £2.
A cucumber and some smoothies. Light snacks.
Smoothies. Now that's where you went wrong. Smoothies are like £3 a bottle, and depending what smoothies you got, if you got them innocent ones, woo, you're paying.
For the next day or two, and it cost me £20. This is why I'm leaving the UK. That's the bag, that's all I've got. Some eggs, small egg.
What's this power thing? This plug. Someone's been shopping down the middle aisle again.
As well, bananas, and a couple of smoothies. £20. Absolutely disgraceful.
I truly believe that in 2025, the average UK salary should be a reflection of the average UK cost of living. At the moment, there is a huge disparity between both. And it's like, to what end? This is why people are working 2 jobs. This is why people are working overtime. This is why people have no life. They're depressed. They're lonely. We need to start protesting against these things and saying, look, I am not going to work until I'm able to get enough money on an average salary with an average experience and knowledge and certifications to be able to take care of myself and my family.
So how do you think things are going in Britain at the moment, James?
Well, I think mainly everyone's food bill's gone up by about 50%. Everyone's gas bill's gone up by about 300%. Everyone's electric bill's gone up. Everyone's council tax bill has gone up. Everyone's mortgage has gone up. Everyone's water bill has gone up. Buses don't turn up. Trains don't turn up. The police don't turn up. That's particularly annoying when you've been stabbed due to soaring crime. Doctors' surgeries don't answer the phone. Dentist surgeries don't answer the phone. There's sewage in the drinking water. School buildings are crumbling. Hospital buildings are crumbling. Police station buildings are crumbling. There seems to be holes in every street. There seems to be boarded up shops in every street. There seems to be empty shelves in every supermarket. No one's got enough money to live on. Wages aren't keeping up with inflation. And half the population are depressed to the point of suicide. But apart from all that, I think it's going really well, Laura.
I hope everyone is doing well. This is going to be a little UK ranting video.
Oh, we're going to rewind that. That was fucking brilliant. This is perfect.
Knowledge and certifications to be able to take care of myself and my family.
So how do you think things are going in Britain at the moment, James?
This is perfect.
Well, I think mainly everyone's food bill's gone up by about 50%. Everyone's gas bill's gone up by about 300%. Everyone's electric bill's gone up. Everyone's council tax bill has gone up. Everyone's mortgage has gone up. Everyone's water bill has gone up. Buses don't turn up. Trains don't turn up. The police don't turn up. That's particularly annoying when you've been stabbed due to soaring crime. Doctor surgeries don't answer the phone. Dentist surgeries don't answer the phone. There's sewage in the drinking water. School buildings are crumbling. Hospital buildings are crumbling. Police station buildings are crumbling. There seems to be holes in every street. There seems to be boarded up shops in every street. There seems to be empty shelves in every supermarket. No one's got enough money to live on. Wages aren't keeping up with inflation. And half the population are depressed to the point of suicide. But apart from all that, I think it's going really well, Laura.
Because I hope everyone is doing well. This is going to be a little UK ranting video from somebody who has lived in Melbourne, in Australia for the last 8 months, and is back in the UK for a month. So, first thing I want to say is the level of rubbish and shit all over the roads is disgusting. Number 2 is obviously going to be the weather. So it rains about 8 months of the year, but when it is sunny, like today, you fucking sweat just breathing. Number 3, the cost of living. So when I was in London, my bills and everything were extortionate, and compared to Melbourne, I definitely find it way cheaper. Now, I went out the other night, and this kind of brought it all back home again. Went out the other night for a nice meal and some drinks with my missus, took her on a date night. Had a great time. £400 for one night. That cost.
Cost of living 2025 payments have now been confirmed. Yes, you've heard me right, they've just been confirmed. Multiple sources have confirmed this, and this is the payments we're looking to get. Following from May to October, 3 payments altogether. So the sources.
Okay, so this. Yeah, these are benefit claims. So if you work people, you ain't getting any of this. Yeah, just don't count your blessings. Yeah, you're not getting a penny of this if you're out working and you don't claim any sort of benefit. Not that it's a great deal of money anyway. I mean, a summer payment of up to £200 is anticipated. What is it? Autumn payments, £500, £600. Okay, that's like half a month. Well, a couple of weeks wages, I suppose, or a week, depending how good you're going. Yeah, and disability and pension, they just get money anyway because, yeah. But these 3, the spring, summer, and autumn payments. Yeah, you're only going to get them if you're on benefits, people. So, yeah, it's completely irrelevant to me.
Saying we are.
Don't. It's not a brag being on benefits, people. Just do something.
Expecting one spring pay.
Even if it's like this, just making content. Yeah, I don't get. I mean, I get a few pennies a time for making videos or whatever. But I'm sure if you've done it a bit more intensively than what I do, there's a chance to make some alright money doing something like this, just like a second income. Work your job, or maybe even work your job, make content about you working at your job for other people, and you can get a little bit of extra money that way.
A one-off payment of £301 for spring 2025. Then a summer top-up, so that's a payment of £2.
I'm going to skip this one because it is just benefits. I don't care about benefits.
As the cost of living is still here, it hasn't gone anywhere.
Does anyone else remember Keir Starmer in 2023 saying that he was going to bring down the cost of living? He was going to sort it out because inflation's just about to go up to 3.8%. And I'm saying this as I've just come back from the shop and I just saw a packet of digestive biscuits for £4.
What? A little tip for you people that love your biscuits out there. You can get custard creams, bourbons, fig rolls, digestive biscuits, like hobnob style biscuits, oat biscuits, all for like 50p a pack or whatever. They are there. They're just not the branded ones, you know what I mean? But they taste the same pretty much. They're just sweet treats, you know what I mean? You'll eat them anyway.
Like, can you believe that? And that's the price, that's the current price. So I dread to think what they're going to cost when inflation does go up to 3.8%, and how quickly it takes to go up or whatever. But I'm telling you, the people in our government that run this country, they're sick. Like, they're sick, they're psychopaths. And they don't even try and hide their delight at the rest of us, like, struggling to survive. They sicken me. They absolutely sicken me. And I think this country is about to erupt. I think it's about to kick off. I think people are going to get so sick and so tired of working their backsides off to not be able to afford anything anymore. And I welcome it. I welcome the uprising. Fuck it. I'm done. I don't want to work anymore. I'm sick of it.
People in the UK are now stealing meat from supermarkets and reselling it to pay their bills. This video was recently...
So, having a desire not to work...
So tired of working their backsides off.
A desire of not wanting to work is not a good thing to have. Like, I understand, like, we're working and it almost seems like you're working for nothing. But the whole process of you going out to work and engaging with people and just getting outside, even if you work in an office job, you still got to go outside to get to your office job. Yeah, you're going to see people, socially interact with people. It's good for your mental health to work. If you sit at home all the time, you know, keep yourself up inside, yeah, it's going to be more depressing. Go out, get outside.
To not be able to afford anything anymore. And I welcome it. I welcome the uprising. Fuck it. I'm done. I don't want to work anymore. I'm sick of it.
Don't want to work anymore. You don't want to work for nothing anymore. It's what you should say. Not, I just don't want to work.
People in the UK are now stealing meat from supermarkets and reselling it to pay their bills. This video has recently surfaced online, and check this out, because this man has gone into the co-op, taken loads of legs of lamb, steaks and stuff, and then is reselling it down these back alley. Now, I've never seen anything quite like this. As you can see, he's got eggs, he's got bread, he's got loads of different flanks of meat. It looks like there might be some sausages and stuff in there. Now, I have never seen anything like this. Apparently, people are saying that this is due to the cost of living crisis. This man has obviously been going around taking stuff from co-ops and other places and then just selling it on to people for like half the price. And obviously meat is pretty expensive now. In the last year alone, some meat such as the finest range has gone up by 50% some places. And now I want to see what you guys think about this. Is this a cost of living crisis situation, or has this been happening long before the cost of living crisis? Now, I've definitely seen this before in certain towns. This is happening up and down the country, but is it happening more frequently? We are seeing a bigger presence of security guards in supermarkets now, but interestingly, they can't actually physically get involved anymore because really they're just there as a visual deterrent to make it cheaper for the supermarket's insurance. Now, let me know what you think about this. What do you think about this? Is this a bad move? Because I think it is.
I don't normally talk about cost of living, but today I need to rant. So it's summer holidays. Me and my husband are both teachers, so we're off with our children, which is great. Like, we're really lucky that we get to spend that time with them. And obviously we have to budget to an extent, because each time you leave your house, it is just so expensive to do anything. Today we had to go and pick up my in-laws' dog. We are looking after their dog for a couple of days, and near there is a lovely little cafe at a farm shop. So we thought, you know what, let's go and get the dog and let's just go for a little cake, cup of tea or whatever. We met some friends there in the end because they were free, and it was really nice, having a good time. We ordered, blah, blah, blah. And then when we went to pay, it was, daughter had a slice of cake, my son had a chocolate brownie, my husband had some other little cake. I had a tea, he had a coffee, they had hot chocolates. So 4 drinks, 3 cakes, £37.50. I just couldn't believe it. I was just like, what? And then we decided to go for a walk with the dog and our friends, and it was really, really nice. Obviously, it was a bit rainy today, but it was quite warm. And we did this really long, nice walk, and there was a pub right at the end. So our friend was like, oh, you know what, let's just go and have a quick drink before we say bye-bye. And we were like, yeah, you know, summer holidays, whatever. We should have learned our lesson from this £37.50 in the cafe. So we go to the pub and we get drink each. We didn't even get drinks for the children. We said, no, you can have your water bottles. And they had a packet of crisps each. So 2 packets of crisps and 2 drinks, £17. So
I was doing a gig in Torquay on Saturday, DJing. And I bought myself a real ale, which generally is the cheaper form of beers you can buy. You know, back in the day, you'd get a real ale for like £1.80. It's, you know, so far, I think the cheapest one I found at the moment is probably still like £3 something. But I was in this pub on Saturday over in Torquay for my DJing gig. I bought myself a pint. I bought my friend Mike, who I brought with me, bottle of Corona. £10.60 for a pint and a bottle of beer. It was a little bit criminal.
All in all, we've spent like over £50 just for leaving the house, just a cafe and a pub. And it wasn't even, it was cake, you know, it was treat stuff. And now I just feel like that's their treat for the summer. I feel like that's it. That cake and that packet of crisps, I am done. I'm done basically leaving my house because it's just so crazy out there. I just cannot believe how quickly that money disappeared. It was just a rant. I just had to rant today.
I know that growing up today can be tough. By the way, just bear with me on this video. Wait till the end. We're investing in new clubs, music, sport, real world opportunities to help young people build confidence and find their spark. He's tweeting again, people. And the hypocrisy of this is outrageous. Because in March 2025, there were 4.5 million children living in poverty in the UK, which is 31% of all children. A rise of 100,000 from the previous year. Then they categorise it where the most poverty is. I don't know why they need to do that, by the way, because this is the biggie. 31% of children. That is outrageous. And the UK has seen an increase in child poverty due to the rising cost of living, with 3.1 million children in deep poverty. For me, this isn't spoken about enough. And this is a reason why people are not having kids anymore. That's why you're getting your declining birth rates, because it is so expensive to live. Food, energy bills, even getting on the property ladder, even trying to find a house to rent. Landlords slapping rent prices up. And it's just people can't do it. I don't understand how people who are single can do it. Never mind having a dual income. And this pushes it onto the children. Can't afford clothes, can't afford food properly, can't afford to take them on days out. That leads to like bullying, that leads to other things. It's more and more difficult. Then they cry about it, the government. We need to have more children. They obviously don't see the real world. That is how disconnected they are from the real world. You don't live in ivory towers. You don't have banquets and 4 or 5 houses. We go to work. We do 40, 50, 60 hours a week to try and make ends meet. But with your ridiculous policies, forever increasing taxes, high energy bills, so on and so on, you are just literally suppressing people. And it's making it tougher and harder. Obviously, they put outrageous things out like that. We want to give people the best start in life. Absolute load of nonsense. I want to help people. Stop raising taxes and reward the hard-working people of this country. Stop putting children into poverty.
What are your guys' thoughts on life in the UK today, 2025? So I actually grew up in the UK myself. Lived here for about 30 years. I think 2 of the major benefits, right, in my opinion, are education. Especially in Scotland, which is where I stay, right? It's completely free. You know, even university is free. And NHS, right? National Health Service. Having said that, however, I do think both of them are gradually going down. Education, there used to be free extracurricular activities, which now they've cut. NHS, you know, used to be able to get appointments faster and easier. Now you kind of have to call within like a 5-minute window, right, for the GP. If you don't call within that 5-minute window, you don't really get an appointment, because that's what happened to me for the last 3 days, right? Like 3 days in a row, right? You can only call between 8:30 and 9, right? The lines don't open until 8:30. The moment you call after 8:35, you don't get an appointment, and you're told 3 days in a row that you're not going to get an appointment. That, to me, right, is one of the... There's more reasons than that, but that to me is quite a big reason why a lot of wealthy people, millionaires, are leaving, right? Because when you are investing, when you are paying so much in tax, right, you should get some kind of value back in return. But when you're paying more for less value, it just doesn't make sense. And there's many other reasons. You know, taxes are getting higher. Small businesses are more difficult to do, to run and make profit. Right, your alternative, right, if you don't get an NHS GP appointment, your alternative is just to pop into a pharmacy, right? I'm not even joking, right? The UK pharmacists, if you go in, let's say you've got a fever, all they can tell you is, take some paracetamol, pal, take some ibuprofen, pal, you'll be fine, right? That's literally pretty much it. That's all you get, right? If you have some kind of skin rash, whatever it is, oh, hydrocortisone, take some hydrocortisone, here, rub this, no more than 1 week, okay, bye, see ya. Guys, share your thoughts, right? What are your thoughts, right? Not being any racist or anything, right? Just completely sharing facts here. The culture, right, and the people, in comparison, they're not nasty, but in comparison to, say, Thai people or Spanish people, etc., right, they're just not as nice, right? They're more negative and they complain quite a lot. Food, right?
Now, morning, folks. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning, yeah. 8:30.
Excuse me a moment. Had a lovely sleep again, and this is my morning routine. I've got myself a bowl of a mango, blueberry and grape in there, and I've got some dates in there. Try not to have too many of those. I should be going to the toilet often, but they are very good for you, very good for your heart. And that's just a nutty seeded cereal bar, and my spoon, foldable spoons. Anyway, I'm charging the phone up at the moment. Just thought I'd come on air. So, what are you up to today, folks? Friday, almost weekend, and I believe it's a bank holiday in the UK. I just forgot. I forgot. It's the final one this year. I might be going down to Wales. I've got a job to do. I've got a busy Friday. Always have a busy Friday from 4 o'clock onwards till about 8. With the one job I do. But if I can get the one job done and finish about 9:30 tonight, then just bed down. Then I could do one job in the morning, and then that's me done till next Friday, actually, because I've booked some time off next week. Pardon me, so I might pop down to Wales. Anyway, happy Friday.
Even though we are living through the period of the cost of living, has actually made us realise
how that was relevant to cost
money
of living.
decisions that we were doing in our lives that were really toxic. Remember that rule where they said, oh, don't go to the shops if you're hungry. Pick up Doritos, oh, jammy Dodgers, chocolate digestives, oh, I love a Lucozade. Listen, you'll pick up a whole bunch of things because you're hungry, but really you just need a sandwich and a packet of crisps, sort you out. But because of the cost of living, you don't do that stuff no more. Anything you put inside your little trolley or in your basket, what is it for? I'm putting cheese because I'm using the cheese. I'm going to make a sandwich. I'm going to grate it for the spaghetti bolognese. If there is some left over, I'm going to make cauliflower cheese pasta. You understand? Like just that block of cheese, already calculated how you're going to use it. Nowadays, you can't go to the shops and do that whole, oh, I'm hungry, let me pick up a bunch of things. No, because you're just calculating, like, you don't want to go to the checkout and you put certain things back because, you're a regular in the shop. You're a regular in the shop and they know your faces, and all the staff members, they say hello to you when they're stacking the shelves. You don't want to be known as the regular.
Do you think that this is a problem? Like people have too much pride to put something back when they've made a mistake? Like, would you say that's a problem we have? Like, we worry about people judging us for putting something back. I don't care if you can't afford it. You know what I mean? To be fair, sometimes there's been times where people can't afford something. They're maybe like £1 or something short. You can see they're like family doing a family shop, and I'll just chuck them a couple of quid, just make sure they can get it. I don't think we should be embarrassed about things like this in this current climate. Definitely not.
That puts things away when they get to the checkout. Basically, just means you ain't got no money. Before you were just tapping your bank card, tap, tappity, tap, tap, tap. Now, no, I don't know about you, but I'm regularly checking my bank account. How much have I got before I step out of this house? Next thing, right, yeah, is mortgage prices. Everyone wants to own a house. You're going to do anything with your life. You buy a house, you can boast. Anyone who's bought a house yet, they're like, oh yeah, I bought a house. Yeah, technically mortgage, you ain't paying anything off yet, but it's something to boast about out here on the streets. Yeah, we bought a house, yeah. We live in Richmond. Because of the cost of living, a lot of people have realised, you know what, if I'm going to get my money's worth, right, yeah, it's to buy a house that looks like, you know those houses that you see on the Homes Under the Hammer? Borderline looking haunted houses. They look at total state, yeah, and then they like do it up and you're like, rah. You're sitting on a 3-seater sofa and you're thinking you're not even being productive. People realise, you know what, those houses are much more cheaper. And also people realise you don't need to live in London. People who live in London are moving out of London just to like buy a house. Yeah, I love London, don't get it twisted, I do. Person who lives in London, I'm realising that actually you can be very, very, very much happy outside of London. I'm watching all these like escape to the country, people who lived in the city and then they're moving to like small towns in the countryside and the houses over there, they look lovely. I just hit me and my family. We need to go and move over there. Cost of living has made us realise if we're going to get our money's worth, you don't need to live like in the trending town. Don't live in a crime-infested area, but like, you know, there are lovely areas that you can live in that are much more cheaper for you to buy a house. Another toxic money habit we had prior to the cost of living, branded food. We all thought buying branded food was the thing. Realised afterwards, a lot of like store branded food are actually really nice. Magnum ice cream. I don't buy Magnum ice cream. Store branded ones, perfectly fine. Why are we stretching to a £5 just for ice cream on a stick that's only got 3 inside a packet? 3 as well. The audacity. Charging over £4 for 3 things.
Rents are sucking the lifeblood out of the lives of many people in the UK. Rental property is largely occupied by young people and people on low income in the UK. And of course, in very many cases, those two groups overlap. And as a consequence, a great many children in the
There's no scorpion, motherfucker, in this cost of living.
UK also live in rental properties. And the cost of that property is rising. New data from the Office for National Statistics shows that on average in England, the cost of rental property in proportion to people's gross incomes rose by 3% in the year 2023-24, which is the most recent for which we have data. In London, the cost is now in excess of 40% of the gross income of people who are renting their properties. In England as a whole, it's now reached 36%. In the southwest of England, the data shows that the cost is now in excess of 30% of gross incomes of those who are paying rents. And that is, of course, because of the challenge from holiday lettings. We are in a crisis situation. Now, the story is not grim everywhere. In Wales, the average cost of renting is only 26% of gross income, which is still staggering. In Northern Ireland, it's 25%. And in the northeast, the northwest and the East Midlands, the cost of renting is declining, in particular in the northeast, where it's fallen to only 20% of gross incomes, a substantial drop during the course. Fallen to only
about southwest? Yeah, southwest. So if you want to live somewhere cheap up to the northeast, people, I'm a southwestian.
20% of gross incomes, a substantial drop during the course of this period. But that's an indication of many of the economic problems that are going on there. But the point in general is quite simple. Landlords are taking a disproportionate amount of the income of younger and poorer people who are living in rental property. Those people are not working for the sake of putting food on the table. They're not working for the sake of having a good life. They're working to pay their landlords. We should have got beyond this point now. It's wrong that we're paying for land time and time and time again, and yet we are. It's wrong that people are being denied a chance to live on median earnings because so much of what they earn is being extracted from them by landlords who are charging excess prices. And remember, even social rents are defined in relation to these excessive prices and therefore are unaffordable for many. We can't live forever in a society where rents are literally dragging people into real poverty after tax and after paying for the essentials of living, where they cannot work out how to make ends meet. It's unsurprising we have millions of children in poverty in this country as a consequence. You can blame the fault entirely at the door of the excess prices of rental properties. Unless our government gets a grip on this issue, and it can only get a grip on this issue by either imposing rent caps or by increasing the number of government-owned properties, whether that be government or housing association or local authority, I'm not too worried about. But under government control, unless more of those properties are made available at genuine social rents, there is no chance of this changing. We are living in a society that appears to exist solely to extract wealth from the poor to benefit the rich. And that is not sustainable. Unless we change this, the way we live cannot survive. And that is a profoundly worrying prospect.
So here we are, the end of the video, and honestly, after going through everything...
Right, so yeah, that was... we've been doing this an hour and a half now. Yeah.
You can't help but feel like Britain has turned
cost of living. I mean, it's just spiraling out of control. So many people are feeling the pinch.
You don't even get free shipping with it.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. We'll do this again soon.
Right now, a weekly food shop that once cost £40 is now pushing £70.
Take care of yourselves, my friends.
Energy bills